welcome to your 3-week yoga retreat. My name's Vitas, and I'm here to lead you through the beginning of our journey together, the Foundation Week, Week 1. Whether you've never done yoga before or maybe dabbled a little bit, just didn't quite stick, I promise, this program is for you. Everybody's gonna be challenged. We're gonna learn a lot. I wanna jump right into it with day 1, core. Not only talking about the core of our bodies, which is so important for movement, but some real core principles of our yoga practice. If you can keep up with Elisa and I, great, go for it. If you need to back off a little bit and modify, Ted's gonna show you how to do that. Now, one of the most important principles of our yoga practice is just our breathing, and I wanna work on that first. So sit up, cross your legs, and let's get started. If when you sit up, your knees are a little bit high and you need to sit up on something, then do that. Ted's gonna sit on a block. You can sit on a pillow, blanket, whatever at home. Just want you to take a moment, just get comfortable, but don't slouch. Sit up tall, hands on your knees, close your eyes, and just start to turn your awareness inward. And that's a word you're gonna hear from me a few times, I'm sure. Awareness, mindfulness, focus. They all pretty much refer to this idea of turning the attention inward. We're constantly bombarded by these outward senses, just our phones, computers, all of it. In our yoga practice, I want you to turn in. I want you to feel your body and feel your breath. So with each deep breath you take, I want you to start to feel some expansion happening. So with each inhale, the spine lifts, the rib cage expands. And with each exhale, there's a softness around that. See if you can start to restrict your breath just through your nose, okay? So not through your mouth, in and out through your nose, smooth and deep. Try to find a real evenness to it. So your breathing shouldn't be choppy, shouldn't be erratic. Good. And if at any point during the practice it feels like it's too much, just keep coming back to your breath, okay? Let's start moving. So open your eyes, stretch the arms up, and let's start to create some length. I want you to stretch up through your fingers, all right? And as you do that, feel length through your sides. So I really want you to just reach up, start to feel like you're lifting off your lower back as well a little bit. So you shouldn't be super arched, all right? Keep the navel hugging in slightly. Lengthen up and breathe. We're gonna take a little bit of a twist to the right. Okay, so the left hand goes to the right knee, right fingers go behind you, and I really wanna make sure you don't force this. It should feel good. Try to lift up off your lower back so you feel this twist a little bit more in your mid back, your upper back. Maybe even look over your right shoulder. With each inhale, sit up taller, and with each exhale, feel some of that twist. Again, with every pose we practice, it's important that we don't push too hard, okay? So you want this to feel good in your body. You don't want to feel like you're cranking it. Good, and then come down the center, stretch the arms up again. So reaching the arms up is really functional. It helps us facilitate length. And if your sides are long, there's a good chance that your spine is long. And that's what we focus on a lot in our yoga practice, is spinal length, right? Decompressing the effects of gravity. Let's twist to the other side. All right, to the left. Right hand outside the left knee, left fingers behind you. Try not to hunch over. Sit up really tall and turn the rib cage. Use your breath to help you turn. All right, so you're not cranking with your arms. I know you guys are strong. Just see if you can feel the turn happen from your midsection, lifting up through your shoulders, maybe even looking over that left shoulder. Good, and then come down the center. Let's come onto all fours, hands and knees. So make your way to the top of your mat. Have your hands underneath your shoulders, palms flat, fingers spread, and your knees underneath your hips. Now we're gonna do some cat-cow stretches. Classic yoga stuff here. We'll start with the cow, and I want you to lift the hips up as you do that. So pull the chest forward, basically arching your back here. Look forward a little bit, but don't crunch your neck, okay? So you wanna feel a nice sweet arch through your back. And then I want you to do the opposite. Start to drop your head down, push through your arms, see if you can lift your lower belly up into your body. So this is the cat stretch. Good, now let's try to link it with the breath. So cow, stick the butt up, pull the chest forward, take a big inhale. Good cat, exhale, drop the head, round your back, push through the arms. Make it fluid, a couple more times. Inhale, chest pulls forward, hips lift up. Good, exhale, drop your head. Feel that upper back rounding. One more time, inhale, arch the back, look forward, stick the hips up. And then exhale, drop your head and round. Good, now come to a neutral spine. By neutral, I just mean flat back, all right? Bring your knees a little bit closer to each other. And I want you to start by reaching your right leg straight backward. You don't have to lift your right leg off your mat, but lift it if you can. So Ted's modifying, you can follow Ted, he still has his toes down. But I want you to make sure here that you're not arching or rounding. You still have that neutral spine. Feel your lower belly lift up to help keep it neutral, okay? And then keep the length of your right leg pushing backwards, start to reach your left arm straight forward. Good, now come back to your breath. If you lost your breathing, you've lost your yoga practice, right? The foundation of our practice is the breath. So as you reach back through your right leg and stretch forward through your left arm, I want you to breathe into that space that you're creating. And you should feel that your back is getting longer. All right, so feel the spinal traction. Keep opposing the strength of your opposite limbs. Good, and then set it down. Let's switch. Start by reaching your left leg straight backward and lift it a few inches off the ground. Remember, we're not going for height here. I want you to go more for length. So push that left leg back, keep your lower belly lifted, and then when you're ready, just reach the right arm straight forward. Come back to your breathing, in and out through your nose. Smooth and full, deep breaths. So not only does the deep breathing have a centering effect, but just even scientifically, we're oxygenating the blood. And the more oxygen we can get to those red blood cells, the healthier your body's gonna be. Good, set it down. We're gonna press back to a really basic pose, and I love this one, it's called child's pose. So bring your feet a little bit closer together, all right, and start to press your hips back towards your feet. Now, if you have any sort of knee injury, they might not get back all the way, that's fine, you can follow Ted. And as you do that, stretch your arms forward. As you crawl your hands forward, start to drop your head down. All right, and the cool thing about child's pose is that it's a great place to rest whenever you need to in your yoga practice. So if it ever gets to be too much, come back to child's pose, chill out. You should feel a nice sweet stretch in your lower back and some length through your sides. Maybe even stretch the arms out a little bit further forward. Breathe into your back. It should feel really good. Good, and then come back onto a hands and knees position. We're gonna tackle one of the most important yoga poses now, downward facing dog. And before we do it, I just want you to make sure you understand where the hand position should be. Okay, so when we push into downward dog in a moment, I want you to make sure you don't turn those hands in. All right, the hands should be turned out a little bit. Not a bunch, just a little bit of turning out so you can make sure to stay wide across your chest and your shoulders, okay? Let's try it. So, hands about shoulders distance apart, find that little bit of a turning out, okay? And I want you to start to curl the toes and lift your knees up, stick your butt way up into the air. So don't worry about straightening your legs yet. Whatever you think you know about downward dog, just forget it for now. Drive through your arms, palms are flat, fingers are spread. I want you to stick your hips way up and press your hips back. So it's this action of rooting down through your palms, driving your arms straight. Make sure you're not straining your neck. The neck should be soft. And lifting your hips up and back, that's gonna help you create length in this pose. All right, put your knees down, take a second. So, where should you feel that? Well, that's mostly your arms working. So you should feel your shoulders a little bit on fire, right? Arms are working strong. Now let's add the second part of the pose, okay? So remember, hands turn out a little bit, curl the toes, lift the knees up, and stick your butt way up into the air. So I want you to keep what we just did, that first part. Arms are driving straight, the neck is soft, and the hips are lifting up and back. Now from here, I just want you to straighten your right leg. Press your right heel down toward the mat. And I want you to try to feel the stretch in your back of your right leg. So your hamstring, your calf. Take a few deep breaths in and out through your nose. And just experience that stretch. What is it like for you? Good, then switch. Bend your right knee. Press your left heel down. Keep lifting those hips up and back, so don't lose that initial part of the posture. Just add that sensation in your left leg. Good, bend both knees again. Set the knees down, take a moment. Good, just let the arms rest. You can take child's pose if you ever need to, that's fine. We're gonna do it one more time. So we just did one leg at a time. I want you to try to experience that sensation simultaneously with both legs at the same time, okay? Let's start just from the beginning, no rush. Hands turn out a little bit. Curl the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips up and back. So the spinal length, right? Just a whole bunch of space in your torso. And then with your hips pressing back, your neck soft, start to push both legs towards straight. All right, if you're tighter in your body, they're not gonna get all the way straight, that's fine. It might look like what Ted's doing. But if you can, try to get the legs towards straight. Reach your heels toward the mat. The feet should be about hips distance apart. If you're tighter, the feet could be a little bit wider, that's fine. Now I want you to find your breath. Use the expansion of your diaphragm to create some more space in your torso with each deep breath that you take. Good. You should probably feel this in your shoulders, your legs, all of it. It's a full body pose. Feet hips distance, go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. And if you need to put your hands on blocks like Ted's doing, you can do that. Or just fingers down, drop your head down, take a few deep breaths. So we call this, forward fold, real simple. But there's some subtlety to your forward fold, right? Notice how I'm not locking my knees straight, all right? Even with a little bend in your knees, you're still gonna feel a stretch in your hamstrings. Also notice how my head is soft. I'm not straining my neck or my jaw, right? The head is dropped, it hangs. Now just breathe deep. Try to shift forward into the front of your feet a little bit so that your heels aren't too heavy, right? And as you shift forward in your feet, keep lifting the hips up and dropping the head down. Good. Now slide your hands up to your shins. Glance forward and pull your chest forward. Here I want you to create length. So really flatten your back, pull your chest as far forward as it'll go, right? And again, don't lock your knees. You're just gonna strain your knees if you do that. There's a little bend in the knees. Pull your chest forward. Keep your belly lifted and lengthen as best you can. Look even past the front of your mat. Good, now try to keep some of this length and hinging from your hips, fold back in, drop your head down. Good, so fingers can go on the floor on blocks like Ted's doing. Either way is fine. Now I want you to start to bend your knees. I want you to lean back into your heels as you bend your knees, and your feet should be parallel. So the feet don't turn out or turn in. And as you sink the hips down, start to reach your arms up, chair pose. Now, sometimes we'll do chair with the feet together, but right now I want the feet to stay hips distance apart. And there's a bunch of subtlety in this pose, right? So as you sink down, I want you to make sure you're not overarching your back, all right? The lower belly should lift, right? So there's that support of your abdomen, and your heels should be heavy. Try not to grip the toes. All right, sink 1 inch lower, and as you stretch up, just make sure you're not straining around your neck, all right? There should be some space between your arms and your neck. Just feel really long through your sides, and there's no need to look up. Look forward or even down slightly. Good, stand up, bring your hands to your waist. Ooh, chair pose. Let's step up and do it at the top of the mat. Good, so feet hips distance again. Feet parallel to each other, okay? Release your arms, start to bend your knees. As you bend your knees, sink back into the heels. Remember, the belly should pull back. That's gonna help prevent you from overarching. Stretch up through your arms. Let those heels be really heavy, right? If you're feeling a little more tender, maybe don't go quite as far down, but if you're feeling strong, challenge yourself. Sink into your heels. Keep drawing the navel back. Don't strain around your neck. And then fold forward. Work the legs towards straight as you fold. Good, slide your hands up to your shins. Again, flatten the back, spinal length. Take a full deep breath here. This is a great pose to create some length and space through your central column. Good, and then fold back in. Drop the head down, chair pose again. Bend the knees, heels really heavy. Sink into those heels, stretch up through your arms. Again, no need to look up. I don't want you to strain your neck. Look down slightly, lengthen through your sides. The palms should face each other. Good, and then stand up, bring your hands together in front of your heart. So now we're gonna try to put that together with the breath, okay? So follow me. On an inhale, chair pose. Sink way down and stretch. Fold forward as you exhale, drop the head down. Hands to shins. Inhale, lengthen out. Fold back in as you exhale, chair pose. Make the heels heavy. Big inhale, stretch. Stand up, hands to your heart. Good, smooth it out. Chair pose, inhale, sink even lower. Fold as you exhale. Remember, don't lock the legs. Hands to shins, inhale, lengthen. Good, exhale, dip back in. Chair pose, inhale, see if you can sink a little bit lower. Make sure those feet stay parallel. Stand up, hands together. 2 more times. Inhale, chair pose. Good, exhale, fold forward. Hands to shins. Inhale, lengthen out. Good, exhale, dip back in. Chair pose, sink way down, really stretch through your arms. Stand up, hands together. Last time, chair pose, sink down. Fold forward. Good, lengthen out. Fold back in. Chair pose, see if you can sink a little bit lower. Let's hold this last chair. Remember, I don't want you to strain around your neck, all right? Keep some softness around your ears. Stretch through your arms, sink into those heels. Keep the navel hugging back off the thighs. Don't grip the toes. Stand up, take your hands to your heart. Good job. gonna work on some balance. So bring your feet together at the top of your mat. Stay with your breath, okay? Now balance is really another core principle of our yoga practice, all right? I want you to try your best and see if you can just hug your right knee into your chest with your hands. Give it a squeeze. Now, if you have a hard time squeezing that right knee in, if you fall, that's fine. Don't worry about it. A lot of you guys might just work on this pose here, balancing, standing up nice and tall. All right, and if you fall, just keep coming back into it. If you need to tap your foot down to the mat for a moment and come back up, that's fine too. But I want you to stand up tall, all right? With each deep breath you take, lift the chest up, maybe even roll the shoulders back slightly. Good. We're gonna add the twist. So keep your left hand at your right knee. Maybe just bring your right hand to your right hip or reach your right arm all the way back and turn. Stretch through your right arm. Good, breathe deep, stand up tall. And you notice some of us aren't even holding it up here. That's fine. Everybody falls when you balance. Some days you have it, some days you don't, but we're always working on getting better. Good. Keep your knee up, come down the center. Now see if you can keep the knee up on its own. Just bring your hands to your waist. Lift the knee a little bit higher. Good job, feet together, top of the mat. Other side, shall we? Hug your left knee into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Anybody with two legs can do this stuff, all right? This is nothing fancy. If you show your friends at home, they probably won't be impressed. But you can tell, it's tough, right? I even have a hard time holding this up here. Good, now keep your knee hugging and see if you can lift your chest a little bit higher. Roll the shoulders back. Now, again, coming back to some of this core principle stuff of our yoga practice, breathe deep and try to be steady, okay? Find your breath, stand up really tall. I fell over, nice job. I want you to keep your right hand at your left knee and maybe bring your left hand to your left hip or reach your left arm all the way back. Good, stand up tall and twist. Keep standing up with each deep breath, rooting down through that standing leg. Good, and then see if you can keep your knee up. Come down the center. Bring your hands to your waist. Just balance on your right foot. Lift the chest up. Lift the knee a little bit higher. Good job, feet together, top of the mat. That's tough, you guys. Open your feet hips distance. One more time, chair pose. Bend the knees, drop the hips, sink way, way down. Look down a little bit, sink lower. Good, then fold forward, work your legs towards straight. Now slide your hands up to your shins. Pull your chest forward, take a full deep breath here. Now put your fingers down, step your right leg all the way back. If you can't get your fingers down, you're gonna have your hands on blocks like Ted's demonstrating. Otherwise, be on the fingertips, all right? I want the back leg to be really strong, and there should be a 90-degree bend in that front knee, all right? So that front shin, the left shin, should be vertical. Drive through your back leg, and as your right heel presses back, pull the chest forward. So I want you to feel some strength in your legs, right? There should be an evenness through your hips, and some length through your spine. Keep pulling the chest forward. Don't look down, look a little bit forward. Good, and then step forward, top of the mat, feet hips distance, hands to shins. Take a nice deep breath here. Good, switch sides. Step your left leg all the way back. Make sure it gets far enough back so you get a 90-degree bend in that front knee, okay? High on the fingertips. Drive through your back leg. Pull your chest forward. Try to keep coming back to your breathing. Smooth and even, in and out through your nose. Good, drive through that back leg a little bit more. Make sure that left thigh doesn't sag back there. Good, and then step forward, top of the mat. Hands to shins, glance forward. Flatten that back, lengthen out. Good, step your right leg back again. Let's charge up the legs a little bit more this time. Okay, make sure your stance is long enough you get the full stretch. 90-degree bend in the front knee. Good, this time, if you can, run your arms down by your sides. If it's too much to run your arms by your sides, you can keep your hands on the floor or on blocks. But I want you to make sure you're not sagging your gut, okay? Lift your belly a little bit. Pull the chest forward as you press your right heel backward. The arms should be active by your sides. Maybe lift the arms up a little bit behind you. Feel the chest widen. Good, breathe into your chest, breathe into your belly. Fingers down, step forward, top of the mat. Nice job, hands to shins, flatten the back, take a full breath here. Switch, step the left leg back. Nice, 90-degree bend in that front knee. strong legs. So even though this is a super basic pose, this is challenging. Your legs should be working hard, okay? I want the legs to work a little bit harder as you run your arms down by your sides. Fingers reach back, chest pulls forward, the lower belly lifts, and that back leg stays really strong. Good, take one more deep breath here. Maybe even lift the arms up a little bit higher behind you. Get into those posterior deltoids, the backs of your shoulders. Nice, fingers down, step forward, top of the mat. Hands to shins, lengthen out, take a nice deep breath. Good, step your right leg back. One more variation. Okay, so again, 90-degree bend in the front knee. We're gonna start to twist here. So plant your right hand either on the floor or on your block. You can start by bringing your left hand to your left hip. Turn your chest open. And if you really want to go for it, reach your left arm all the way up and twist. Good, notice as you twist, the legs still take a lot of the weight, okay? So keep the legs active. Keep lengthening as you twist. Don't crank it too hard, all right? So I want you to feel just space in your lower back. Feel the twist more in your mid-back as you turn your chest, your shoulders. So with all these poses, we're active, but we're not aggressive. Fingers down, step forward, top of the mat. Hands to shins, flatten the back, really lengthen out. Last side, step your left leg all the way backward. Good job, lengthen. Pull the chest forward, drive through your back leg. So we're gonna start to twist. Flatten the left palm. Maybe the right hand comes to your waist first. Maybe it goes straight up right away. Just remember, aggression and yoga really don't go well together. All right, you wanna use your breath to slowly move into the pose in a way that feels spacious and supported by your legs, okay? So keep driving through that back leg, keep lengthening. Take one more full deep breath here. This time a little bit different, put the hands down. We're gonna come back onto all fours, hands and knees. So put your back knee down and step your right knee back left to your left knee. Good. So from hands and knees, we're gonna start with plank position, but we're gonna do it first just with the knees down. So keeping your hands under your shoulders, walk the knees back about 6 inches. All right, and what I want you to feel here in plank on your knees is you're not sagging your hips down and you're not sticking your butt way up into the air, okay? So your back should be nice and flat and you should feel that there's a lift in your lower belly. That's what's supporting you here in the pose, okay? As the lower belly lifts, the chest pulls forward. Let's see if you can roll the biceps forward a little bit. That's why those hands are still turned out slightly. Good, then walk your knees in a little bit, take child's pose. Press your hips back, crawl your hands forward. Soften your head for a moment onto the mat. Good, come back to all fours, hands and knees. All right, so now we're gonna do the full plank. If you need to do plank on your knees again, stay with Ted. Just remember, all right, in plank position, I want you to stay spacious across your chest and your shoulders. So no turning in, no caving in. All right, I want you to be broad. Plant the hands and knees. Either walk your knees back or, like Elise and I are gonna show you, step your right leg back, curl the toes under. Good, then step your left leg back, curl the toes under. You're in plank position, all right? Again, I'm not sagging my hips, I'm not sticking my butt in the air, all right? The lower belly's lifted, the chest pulls forward, the legs are strong. Try to breathe deep in and out through your nose. You should feel this in your center, in your upper body. Good, from here, downward facing dog. Pull back, lift the hips up and back. Remember, you can bend your knees a little bit in downward dog if you need to, that's fine. But just get that length through your torso. Start to work the legs straighter and straighter, but again, they don't have to get all the way straight. Good, from downward dog, shift into plank position. Pause in plank, the lower belly should lift and the chest pulls forward. Good, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Now let's try to link that with the breath. Remember, our core principle is breathing. So plank position, inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, plank position, exhale, downward dog. Good, 2 more times. Inhale, plank, the legs should stay strong in plank. And 1 more time. Inhale, plank position, exhale, downward facing dog. Good, and then come into your last plank position here. Pause for a moment. Again, try to feel the core strength that it takes to stay long in this posture. All right, no sagging. Keep your belly lifted. No straining around your neck either, okay? Put your knees down if you need to. Let's go ahead and lower all the way to our stomachs. Lie on your stomach, release the tops of your feet. Good, run your arms down by your sides, and let's start to lift up everything, okay? So lift the arms up, lift the legs up, lift the chest up. As you reach your legs backward, I want you to pull your chest forward away from your legs. Palms turn in to face each other. Lift your arms up by your sides. So what I want you to feel here is strength through your back. These are the muscles that support good posture. When you lie back into your couch for hours on end, these are the muscles that turn into jello, okay? So I want you to lift up and lengthen. Good posture here. Pull the chest forward, reach the legs backward. Take one more deep breath here. Good, let it go. Turn your head to one side, take a breath. Good, again, lift your arms up, chest up, legs up. Just one more instruction here for you. Make sure that you're not pushing your stomach down. So keep your lower belly lifted a little bit so that you don't collapse into your lower back. Stretch back through the legs. Try not to turn the feet out too much. Maybe the feet can actually turn in slightly. Pull the chest forward. Lift a little higher. Come on, I know you got this. One more deep breath. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Good, let it go. Head to the other side. Nice work. We're gonna lie on our backs, okay? So we'll finish here on our backs. Roll onto your back and bend your knees. Plant your feet. And with your arms by your side, just turn your palms in to face each other, okay? I want you to have your heels close enough to your butt so that you can just barely touch your heels with your fingertips, all right? And I also want you to make sure the feet stay parallel to each other, okay? Press your heels down, and as your heels root down, start to lift your hips up. All right, so this is much different than just thrusting your hips into the air. That's not what we're doing. In yoga, we want to use the action of the backs of the legs to lift the pelvis, so the heels press down, and the hips start to lift by the actions of the hamstrings. Good, now as you feel the hips lift, start to push your chest up a little bit too. Use your breath to fill your chest and broaden across your collarbones. Good, see if you can take another deep breath or two here. You should feel your legs working. You should feel the muscles in your back working. Good, set your butt down. We're gonna finish with just some real simple core stuff. Now, every pose we've done already involves a lot of core strength. Core really helps you with your posture, and good alignment always involves core, but just for these last few minutes, let's just use some pure core strength. So extend both legs straight up to the ceiling. If they don't get straight, that's fine. You can keep your knees bent. Take your hands behind your head, lift your head and shoulders off the mat. And when you use your hands, just make sure you're using your hands so that your head rests in your hands. You're not cranking your head up, okay? The lift of your chest should come from your core. Draw the navel down as you lift up to your chest and push up to your legs. Try to hold it here for 5. Good, push up to your feet and spread your toes. 4. Keep breathing deep. Maybe lift a little bit higher. If you want to challenge yourself more, even try to lift the hips up an inch off the mat. Good, maybe feel your body tremble. That's very normal. Last 2. Good, hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Good job, let's stay with it, all right? Bend your knees 90 degrees this time. Take your hands behind your head again, lift your chest up. If it's tough for you to keep your knees bent 90, you're just gonna plant your feet on the mat like Ted's demonstrating. Lift your chest up higher and turn to the right. So I want you to feel your obliques here. As you lift up and turn, feel your abdomen squeeze. Good, come down the center, take a breath, and then lift up to the left. Pause here for a moment. The feet should be active. Again, that left side of your abdomen is squeezing. And come down the center. Let's do it with the breath, all right? So pause here, take an inhale. Exhale, lift up to the right. Good, inhale, center. Exhale, up to the left. Inhale, center, don't rush it. Use your breath. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, up to the left. 2 more rounds. Inhale, center. Up to the right. Inhale, center. Up to the left. 1 more on each side. Really try to link the breath with the movement. No flopping, no flailing. Last side. Good, come down the center, extend both legs up. If you need to keep your hands behind your head, do that. Otherwise, stretch both arms up toward the ceiling. Turn your palms in to face each other, and just last 5 breaths here. Go, as high as you can. 4. Come on, don't hold your breath. 3. Push up through your feet, spread your toes. You got this, come on, I know you got this. Don't give up, last little bit. Lift up higher. Come on, higher. Great job, hug your knees into your chest, excellent work. Go ahead and plant your feet on the mat. Reach your arms up, hook your thumbs, press your thumbs out into each other, reach your arms back behind you, and one leg at a time, stretch both legs forward, and just lengthen through your whole body. As you do that, keep the navel drawing down a little bit so that you're not pushing your stomach up. Good, hook the other thumb in front, just keep the same stretch. Push forward through your feet, spread your toes, stretch back through your arms, breathe into your sides, like you're actually trying to get taller. Good, gently hug your knees in. Give yourself a nice hug, maybe roll a little bit left to right. We're gonna finish where we started, okay? So roll forward, sit up, cross your legs. Remember, you can always sit on a block or a pillow if you're tight in your hips. Let's just take a moment here to get still again. So hands on your knees, turn your palms up this time, close your eyes. Let's come back into that mindfulness. Feel your breathing. Just notice how you feel different in your body after our practice today. You should feel open, energetic, but there should also be a calmness about how you are. Maybe the thoughts in your mind are just slow down a little bit, feel more comfortable in your own skin. Good, just one more deep breath here. And then let your eyes open. Great job, you guys. We went over some of the most important yoga poses today, and you put out an outstanding effort. I can't wait to show you more of this stuff. I know you already feel good, but remember, this is just the beginning. You're gonna feel amazing. I'll see you on the mat tomorrow. Great job.